John here, guys, and today we're talking about the new Tattu, the V6, J-Box
V6,
announcing the V6.
Yes, sir.
The release is finally here of the newest battery technology, and I've just come from a week at International Open in Muncie, Indiana, the annual international invitational drone race where people can come from all over the world to see who has the fastest pilots in the world. And we've always been bottlenecked by the batteries that we fly on our quadcopters like this OZR from DIN Drones. But in past years, I literally have fallen out of the sky trying to complete my third lap on a long World Cup track. Well, this time things went a little bit differently. Now, a lot of people have been running the new SMC battery packs. I saw a lot of those at Mayhem and a lot of those at an International Open. But Tattu has responded with their own upgraded battery chemistry pack. I don't have any scientific data, so I'm not going to say that they're on equal terms, but the people that I did ask that I noticed had flown both were saying that they felt very similar. So this V6 pack is significant not just because of the two sizes that are going to be offered, the 1480 and the 1600, but also because of their improved battery chemistry. Now, this is easily giving more flight time on those hard racetracks. I found World Cup 1, World Cup 2, and the actual World Cup finals track was really excellent to fly. We ended up flying in the over 40 race, the same track that they ran for the World Cup championship. And it was excitingly great track designed by NM Grower. It was a surreal experience being able to watch the World Cup finals, sitting next to Grower, watching a Grower track with all the other shit pilots in the VIP shit pilot tent. I couldn't believe it. And having flown that track just the day before for that over 40 race, I was able to get out 5 laps during practice, while a lot of other people were only able to get out 3 or 4. And that extra track time really helped me come brackets because I was able to move all the way up into P7. That's by far my best finish ever. In all the other over 40 races, I remember showing up to my first IO thinking like, oh yeah, over 40 race, that's where I'm going to dominate. I didn't even make it into the top 16. I couldn't even do brackets. This year, I improved significantly. I qualified in P12. Hello, bozos! But I moved all the way up to P7, and I think it's very much in large part due to this pack having a little bit of extra capacity. But that's not the only thing that you have to look forward to, guys. They have the traditional stick size that's going to be rectangular shaped like your traditional Tattu packs, but they also have a new square variety, and you can tell by either the ST or the SQ.
I think they're undisputed masterpieces, hip to be square.
Right here in the corner, which variety that you're working with. And that's gonna allow you to get the center of gravity just right, depending on how you like your quad to feel when you're flying around. I'm actually a pilot that's fairly sensitive to weight. Moving from my tried and trusty and tank-like open racer down to the OZR has allowed me to shave off about 45 grams per build, while using this 1480 pack compared to the V5 allows you to shave off another 17 grams. How are they managing to pack so much capacity in such a small package? Significantly lighter, and if you do need that extra capacity for a particularly long track, or if you just want a really long freestyling session, what's the difference in weight that you're going to have for this 1600? Only 3 grams. 3 grams? You're not even going to feel it. I got more than 3 grams worth of dirt on half of my quads right now just from crashing. No problemo.
No problemo.
Now, as my intermediate skill level, am I going to be able to tell the difference between the SQ, which is more square, a little bit fatter, but less tall? Or am I going to prefer the ST, which is going to be more of a rectangular, smaller shape on the profile, but longer in height? I don't know if it's really going to matter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell the difference whether my pack is long and skinny or short and thick. I think it's just going to be due to the motion of your aircraft. That's going to make the difference in the race, guys. But hey, if you have some scientific data that's going to back that up one way or the other, please post it in the comments below. Now, Dan and Freelove from DIN Drones, the owner and engineer behind this OZR, as you remember, Freelove is that Red Bull Racing aircraft engineer that we covered in the review of this frame. They're doing some analysis and probably going to send it through some models to see if they are going to tell any difference. They're also looking up into scientific things like the pendulum fallacy, and they're wondering if the concentration of weight is going to make more of a difference, or the difference in aerodynamics by having the battery be slimmer or thicker on the profile that's cutting into the wind. So if you want to see a little bit more results, pay attention to Din's stuff. I'll link his Instagram and YouTube down in the comments below. There are some data analysis probably that's going to go on, but for me personally, I couldn't really tell a significant difference between the two physical shapes. What I could tell a difference on though was, wow, how much extra flight time I was getting. I flew the over 40 race, which I ended up getting P7. Guys, I've never even qualified in the top 16, and the only difference that I could think of was that I had access to this pack. A lot of people during practice were only able to get 3 laps or 4 laps. I was able to get 5 on this bad boy. But this time, wait, are we supposed to announce it? Now, as you might remember, J-Box ended up announcing the V5 just a tad bit early, and I ended up putting it in my Mayhem video. I didn't know that they weren't supposed to be released yet or even known about yet. So J-Box is kind of like the Tom Holland of drone racing, accidentally leaking critical spoilers.
I'm gonna get in so much trouble now. Oh no!
And I triple checked that it was actually appropriate to release this video. One of the best ways to charge your Tattu batteries is with the Gens Ace Mars Duo Charger. A pretty nice option if you're looking for a new charging solution. Just look at all the Tattu pilots that podiumed in World Cup. Yuki, J-Box, Cali, and a whole lot more. So what do you think, guys? I'm still actually using some budget packs for my own practice. If I'm just out here practicing at Sparks RC, my regular home field, I'm probably gonna use something like the 533 budget battery. And that's okay because they're significantly cheaper. But whenever I'm going into brackets, when I'm competing, I'm gonna want the best. And right now, that's the V6.0. Now, to be fair, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people did say that they found the SMC to be very comparable and perform just the same. But what's the differentiator whenever I'm gonna buy? When I'm at a big event or big race, who do I see? Miguel from Tattu out there, sitting there in the pilot pits, taking photos and videos, but also talking to the racers, figuring out what their needs are, figuring out what they need, figuring out when they fall out of the air because their battery just runs out of juice. I saw him at a conference here in Houston a few months back, and he specifically remembered me falling out of the air because I was running my favorite Tattu pack over and over and over and over again because I didn't have a full set that year. That's the kind of attention that we as a community want. We want the development to be driven by the people that drive the batteries the hardest, which are the racers. So whether you're a freestyler, a commercial pilot, just a hobbyist, or a hardcore racer, you're going to benefit from the people that push things the most. And it's really cool to see companies out there participating, engaging, and crafting their development towards our needs. Greater capacity, smaller size, metal plates in here. You can see the metal plate coming around the corner on the side, which means this is going to be more crash resistant than any other Tattu R-Line pack has before it. And you're going to save a lot of weight at the same time for basically the same price. That's how their development is always just what we want, because they're actually at the races. They actually pay attention, and we want to be able to support the companies that support drone racing right back. Thanks, guys.